Before we get into the technology conversation, I want to ask you about Israel and the war with Hamas. Klarna, if I'm right in saying, shuttered its operations in Tel Aviv in 2018, but you still have close ties to the country of Israel, a number of staff impacted. Please, could you just explain the company's response and how it has impacted Klarna?
Well, I think, it's obviously terrible, sad news. I was in shock myself on Saturday morning. But I mean, since we unfortunately don't have an office in Israel anymore, but we do have fantastic colleagues, many of who joined us at the time we had a local presence. Obviously, the only thing I think we have done is try to extend, the sadness and express the support to all of these colleagues internally. Not least my CTO himself is Israeli, so I think under these circumstances, unfortunately, maybe that's the only thing we can really do.
Sebastian, thank you for discussing that with me. We're here to talk about AI, and this is a big move because not just on the Lens product, Google is going for it in sort of consumer-facing generative AI applications across multiple software use cases. Why did you do this? Why are you so confident in doing it?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's interesting to observe that in the US market, search for products has basically primarily been dominated by Amazon, really, not even Google to that extent. Google Shopping has had some more success in some European countries. But in 2021, we acquired what is one of, or maybe the leading and largest European product comparison website. Helps you find, price at the right price, the right product, with the right shipping time, etc. And ever since then, we've been exploring this opportunity. And now, with the acceleration of AI, we think that the gap between the content itself, I mean, you watching a Netflix movie, or you seeing something in a newspaper ad, or you seeing something in the physical world, can actually now allow you to basically instantaneously make a purchase. Now, a lot of people have tried, to your point, and some have failed. I mean, Meta, at the least, was trying with Facebook and Instagram shopping and shut that down. But we see that the technology is there. We have, over 50 million SKUs and products in our databases. So there is now a fantastic opportunity to create a very different experience than what has been available, and really close that distance between I see something I like and I have it in my mailbox.
You're actually releasing 13 different AI-powered products. Are you building the foundation model or large language models that power that yourselves? Or from a technology perspective, are you agnostic and kind of going to established LLM builders?
Well, look, we've had a close relationship with OpenAI that, I had a privilege to speak to Sam already back in February. And since then, we've had a great partnership. But we also obviously explore and look at the other, like Claude and other opportunities out there. We looked at Lewis as well. I think we are at Klarna very pragmatic. If we think that we can do something better than somebody else, then we do it ourselves. If we think that somebody else is doing it better, we much rather build on that and use that. And when it comes to a lot of the LLMs, I mean, the things that OpenAI, as an example, allows us to do is amazing. What we are thinking about, how do we bring that to consumers, to something that actually creates value for consumers on a day-to-day basis, combining the amazing technology that OpenAI and others have developed with, the amazing technology that we have internally. So that's really been our focus primarily. There may be something where, you want to build your own LLM eventually, or, specialize. But right now, what can we bring to consumers to help their lives become better? That's the key objective here.
Sebastian, one of the data points that Klarna is putting forward is that 76% of consumers are still shopping in store. I would say there's probably a number of third-party data sets that are all over the place in terms of how many people go to a store. But how high risk is that for you? What if people just return to online shopping and Lens isn't needed?
Well, I think that what we've seen is for a while there during COVID, we thought that nobody was going to return to physical stores. And now we've kind of seen that they have to a large degree. I think you'll have these fluctuations, but I think over time, more and more so, those two experiences will basically, they will merge to some degree, right? I think the more and more we see what's happening in retail, but also with product and brands, is that you will have pop-up stores, you will have brand representation. A lot of brand stores are really also have amazing marketing capabilities for those brands. So you'll see more and more of that presence, just like Apple has been one of the amazing companies to show the way. I mean, an Apple store is as much a marketing investment as it is an actual store itself, even though it's obviously one of the most successful retailers in that sense. But I think that so we think those will merge. The point is that what we wanted to make sure with Klarna is that whether you're in a physical store and using our photo lens to basically either scan the barcode or just take an image of the item itself, or whether you're scanning and looking at something on your screen, those two should really lead to the same opportunity of comparing alternatives, understanding who can ship that product fastest, at what price, what are the options that you have, and then allow us to combine that with the personal preferences that our consumers have, because they all are slightly different. I think it's very natural for a credit card payments company to play that role. If you think about it, to some degree, this was kind of the promise of the Amex card, right? You were supposed to wave this card over platinum, whatever, and as a consequence, your restaurant owner would say, oh my God, it's a platinum, so I'll bring you this wine or that, this kind of service. So the fact that a payments company signals to the retailer, to the seller, who is this customer, what are their preferences, what could they be interested in, and then helps, create a smoothness experience in that to accelerate trade for all of our merchants and partners. It feels like a very natural thing, but now with AI, we can do it at a very different level than was possible back in the Amex days.